Hi Virgo, Sun, Moon, Ascendant, or Venus. This is Dane, and I'm going to be doing your May 2021 full moon reading for you. Now I ask if this reading resonates with you. Don't forget to give it a thumbs up and also to subscribe to my channel. And if you would like to be notified whenever I upload new videos, and I upload all the time, just hit the bell notification button. And if you're interested in any of the cards that I'm using, they will all be listed and linked in the description box below. And if you would like to help this channel grow and stay successful, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. It would make me so very happy. Thank you guys so much. Now, before we begin this reading, let us clear the energy space, raising our own energy vibration and releasing any negativity. So take a nice deep breath in, exhaling whenever it feels comfortable for you. Releasing all negativity from the body like storm clouds. Letting yourself feel calm, centered, and at peace as we enter into this safe and loving space. Let's let the bowl sing as we see what the tarot has to say. Virgo. How will Virgo be affected by the May 2021 full moon? How will Virgo be affected by the May 2021 full moon? How will Virgo be affected by the May 2021 full moon? Angels and spirit guides, show me clearly. Guide this reading and show me clearly. Angels and spirit guides. Angels and spirit guides. Show me clearly. Guide this reading. And show me clearly. Angels and spirit guides. So let's look at the spread as a tree. The branches here, the bark, the trunk, and the roots here. So at the base of us during this time, and this is a very powerful full moon. This is a full moon in Sagittarius on the 26th of May. It is the flower moon named by the Native Americans because of the flowers that bloom during May. It also has a lunar eclipse. And on the 10th of June, which is when the new moon is, there is a solar eclipse. So the power is amplified, and it continues to be amplified until we get to the 24th of June, where we have the full moon in Capricorn, where things are more grounded, where things are more, looking for the real life applications of everything that we have learned, everything that has come forward for us. So this is a building block period, and it's a really powerful period. So at the roots of us during this time is the Death card, which is Scorpio energy, time frame October 23rd to November 21st, and the Four of Swords. There's a real need to step back, to look, to see, to discover, to understand, and to give ourselves credit where credit is due, because we're going to have a tendency to be very harsh on ourselves. Now, on the left-hand side is our inner self. The middle is our heart, our emotional self. The right-hand side, the public arena, the public self. We have the Three of Pentacles. There's a need for collaboration here, but also there's the Seven of Wands. So we have to be very mindful with whom we are collaborating with. There is a sense of needing to know when to fight and when to step back. That's going to be a game changer for us. We have the Two of Swords. Our hearts start to see new avenues open up. And the Empress is what we are bringing forward within our life, what we are creating, developing, nourishing. But this is also something that we've longed for, really coming forward into our existence, playing a much more prevalent role. And that makes sense with the with the full moon in Sagittarius and with the lunar eclipse, because the lunar eclipse has something coming to a head, and with Sagittarius, it has to do with the truth. It has to do with what is it that we want, we need, we desire within ourselves, and what is the profound change that we've been avoiding. Now it's going to be time for it to come forward, and emotionally, it's going to be a powerful stepping stone for us. In the public arena, we have the Page of Wands, fire sign energy, Aries, Leo, Sagittarius, amplifying this moon as a teacher for us in the public arena, but also letting us see new avenues, letting us see new ways forward, new insights, new ideas. And then we have the Eight of Pentacles, our hard work paying off, a sense of dedication and duty really manifesting in success and prosperity. So with the full moon in Sagittarius, this is a powerful moon, not only because it is a lunar eclipse, but also because it is the second and closest supermoon during 2021, during this year. And it has such increased power because of this. It is the biggest moon and it is the brightest moon of the year. The power is amplified by the lunar eclipse, and with Sagittarius ruled by benevolent Jupiter, this is a time to laugh rather than judge. This is a time for optimism rather than negativity. It's a time to accept. It's a time for positivity. It's a time to be more laid back, to seek out adventure and to seek out wisdom. It's taking aim with the bigger picture in mind, not getting caught up in the details that can bury us. What we are going to see here during this time is that emotionally we're very idealistic. And so we have to be mindful about that energy coming forward, that idealism really saying, well, it has to be this way. And if people don't agree, then they're obviously wrong. No, this is a time not to judge, but to say, well, your idealism, your way of wanting your world, your desire, that's completely up to you. Mine is here, and this is the path that I'm following. It says, look at the bigger picture. That's what Sagittarius is all about. Looking at the bigger picture, collaboration, understanding. This moon is in Sagittarius with the sun in Gemini. These are sister signs. So they play off each other really well. They are bold and beautiful, but just as sisters, they can be mean and vindictive and know each other's flaws. So this is going to be a time where we can feel very at home with the sun and the moon together, but we can also feel like they're kind of calling each other out. So do be mindful of that. With the lunar eclipse, this is going to affect Gemini, Sagittarius, Virgo, and Pisces the most. So we're going to see this energy coming forward with these signs. And it's also going to affect, with the solar eclipse, these signs of Gemini, Sagittarius, Virgo, which of course we are, and Pisces. So looking to see where these signs are within our natal chart is going to be imperative for us during this time. The moon is squared Jupiter, so we need to be mindful of the news and the revelations that are coming our way, because what's going to happen is they're going to be exaggerated. There's going to be much more intensity here than we're going to realize. Things are going to be charged, and people are going to want us to see things in certain ways. So they're going to present things in certain ways because we're going to be more emotionally responsive during this time. We need to kind of step back and say, all right, I'm not going to respond instantaneously. Let me think about this. Let me research it myself. Let me look at things and be open and honest. This is a time not to let ourselves get fiery, not to let the fire burn us up. We are stable, sensible earth signs. Embracing that earth sign energy is going to be very important. Now, with the full moon, it says, with the full moon eclipse, it says conclusions are within reach. Yes, because things start to become more clear. This moon is also a blood moon. This moon brings forward what is true for our blood, what it calls to the essence of ourselves. It's powerful, it's intense, it's benevolent, it's wise, but it also is more than we expect. So conclusions are within reach, but it's not going to be the conclusions that we thought. And with the supermoon, emotions run high because the moon is closer. The moon is more intense. And we have here attraction. What we think about, what we connect with, what we understand, we start to attract. So if we're understanding negativity, hatred, hurt, pain, that's what we're going to attract to ourselves. If we understand joy, forgiveness, open-mindedness, love, respect, that's what we attract to ourselves. And we have to be mindful of what our emotions are calling for the extremes in. So here, yes, emotions run high, but if we look at our emotions and say, what is it that I want? Because there's a path that's opening up that is more us than the path that we have been walking. There is something that we are nourishing that is more us than what we have been just sustaining on. So this moon really calls us forward. Now, with the new moon in Gemini, there is power here. There's power through communication. Communication is key. The solar eclipse brings forward new beginnings, and it brings us to this place of unexpected things coming, but through our mind first. Unexpected things are coming forward because we're thinking about it, because we're seeing it, because we're realizing it, because we're talking, because we're communicating, because we're pushing the boundaries. And we're going to see, again, that profound change that we need. Not the one that we want, but the one that we need. And it's calling us forward to look at new beginnings, to look at new understandings. And it's bringing us to the end of a tough cycle when we reach the full moon on the 24th of June in Capricorn. This says an end of a tough cycle approaches, an end of the hardship and the heartbreak and the disappointment and the anger and the upset, because this is the sensible moon. This is the moon that isn't as accepting as the Sagittarius moon, but it is going to be very logical, very rational, and very much, this is what I need, and this is what I need to do to get there. And taking those steps forward in a practical, comprehensive way. It moves us then to the spirit animals of May. And the spirit animals of May are the beaver spirit and the elk spirit. Now I have the stag spirit standing in because, well, I do not have an elk card. And I do believe that this horned animal really does represent the power of the elk spirit the best. So the elk spirit says that we are entering, and shows that we are entering into a time of plenty. And everything you need, you will get. Not everything you want, but everything you need. So the stag spirit here says, take the leap of faith. Take the leap. Take the leap to what we want. Take the leap to what we desire. If not now, then when? And then we have the beaver spirit coming in. And this is lay a solid foundation, because it's time to trust our creativity. It's time for our accomplishments to come forward through cooperation. And we can see that within our inner self. We're not in it alone. But we also cannot let everybody else take the credit for what we ourselves are doing. This is a time for motivation and for determination and to leap, which again brings us back to the stag spirit. Now in June, the spirit animals of June are the eagle spirit and the deer spirit. The deer spirit says, bring a gentle touch, which is what our world is forgetting. We're forgetting about gentleness and kindness. We seem to be preaching it, be kind, be gentle, be compassionate. And then we're ripping each other apart. I mean, it's so incongruous, it's unbelievable. Bring a gentle touch. Walk kindly on this earth. Walk kindly with human beings and with all of existence. The deer spirit is a symbol of sensitivity, intuition, gentleness, and fertility. There's fertility within our heart. What we plant starts to grow. So be very mindful of these seeds. There is fertile ground here. And so if we plant seeds of joy and of beauty, that's what we will get. If we plant seeds of doubt and of hurt, that is what we will get. In Buddhism, the deer symbolizes harmony, happiness, peace, and longevity. We have the eagle spirit coming in. And the eagle spirit says, spirit has your back. And why this is important during this time is because bringing gentleness forward, we also need to bring the ferocity forward of the eagle, this strength, this symbol of strength. The eagle is a symbol of leadership and authority. In Native American tradition, it is also closely linked to the Creator and is seen as the messenger of the Creator. So that power of spirit has your back because spirit's intertwined with divinity, because spirit wants you to succeed, wants you to move forward. There is this connection here with courage, strength, and wisdom that is guiding us in a way that if we let ourselves be guided, we can see that we walk gently, but strongly and firmly. It's kind of like that old saying, fear the anger of a patient man. Fear the anger of somebody who is calm, who is patient, who is kind. Because when you have ticked them off, you know you've gone too far. So let's look here at the chakra energy that is coming forward. And that's going to be very much the motto during this time. It's like fear the anger of a patient man. Fear the anger of a person who is patient and who is kind. And that's just going to be what we say to ourselves during this time. It's like, don't push me, because when I attack, when you've pushed me too far, that's going to be a time where people start to really pay attention. It's like, oh, wow. And that's going to be one of hard things during this time. It's like, don't get angry at everything. Don't react to everything. But when it's needed, stand up. Stand your ground. Know your truth. Know what you desire. So let's look at the chakra energy for this time. Virgo. How will Virgo be affected by the May 2021 full moon? How will Virgo be affected by the May 2021 full moon? Angels and spirit guides, show me clearly. It's rebirth, which we see very much at the root here. This is rebirth and transformation and coming together in greater understanding. This is the Earth Star chakra located 6 inches below our feet. This is what we desire and what we want from life. This is a sense of ourselves transforming into more. And we're going to feel bad about this for one reason or another. It's going to almost feel like a failure, like, oh, I couldn't handle that road. It's like, no, it's not that I couldn't handle it. It's that I didn't want it. It wasn't me. It's kind of like Cinderella's stepsisters. If you see the traditional, or if you read the traditional story of Cinderella, her stepsisters cut off either the front or the back of their foot to get the slipper to fit in. And that's what it felt like we did. So we tried to cut off our own feet to fit into the slipper instead of saying, these shoes don't fit me. Why the heck am I trying? I need to walk my own path. I need to embrace my own grace. And that's what's coming forward here with the Death card. The Death card is the sense of the dying away of the old self, the rebirth of the new. And we have to mourn what we have learned in order for us to be able to transform. We have to mourn what we have seen, what we have felt, the fact that things have been laid bare and things have been leveled in a way that we hadn't anticipated, we hadn't expected, and that we are not the same people that we were starting this journey. And sometimes it's very hard, especially when we look back and we could look at ourselves as teenagers or as young adults and just think how different I am now. And a part of us might say, is it wrong? And there is really going to be the sense of, no, it's not. This is who I am. And as long as I'm coming from a place of love and of kindness, this is where I need to be. And we do need to mourn what we have been through and stop pushing. This is going to be a moon and a time where if we push ourselves too far and too hard, we're going to see things just start to ignite. We're just going to see our earth sign energy being like dry tinder that just goes up in flames. So that is what we have to be very mindful of during this time, that we water our earth, that we, care for ourselves, that we nourish ourselves, because if not, the fire sign will take aim, but it'll be a flaming arrow into dry, dead grass, and everything will just ignite. So here, it's being very mindful of this. It's taking time to step back, to look at ourselves, to look at what we desire, to say, okay, death brings fear, the changing, the transformation, but it comes to all. The king is laid down by it. The Pope is offering to it, and death cannot be stopped. So transformation cannot be stopped, and that's going to be what's calling to our Earth Star chakra, the fact that transformation cannot be stopped. Who we are, who we need to be, the way that we want to move forward cannot be held back. And the sense of being able to accept the roads that we have walked, the hurts that we have had, not to say it was okay, because a lot of things that happen in our lives, they're not necessarily okay, but they make up our story. So they don't get to be hated. We don't get to hate a part of ourselves. We get to rest, we get to see, we get to acknowledge, and then we start to move forward in our inner selves, knowing that yes, people helped me along the way, but I created, I cultivated, and I worked hard for this. And people don't get to take away the glory of my understanding, the glory that is me, and the glory of what I have created for myself. This is a time to work with others, but instead of working with others and kind of apologizing for who we are, it's working with others and knowing our worth, knowing what we bring to the table. That's going to be something that's hard for us because we've had to battle so long, and it has been overwhelming, the battles. So with the Seven of Wands, there's a sense of when we start to see people overshadowing us, or when we start to see people taking credit for what we've worked on, we're going to get mad and we're going to think, oh no, this isn't happening again. But learning when to take a stance is going to be so important. And it's not letting people take credit for our work. It's not letting people, walk all over us. It's saying, this is my line in the sand. This is the hill I'm going to die on. This is what's right for me. period, end of discussion. And I'm not going to waver. I'm not going to let this fall apart. The Seven of Wands is very much, where's my stance? And it's not fighting every battle. That's going to also be something that comes up during this time, because we're going to be like, I'm not going to be taking advantage anymore. You know, people aren't going to take advantage of me. And that comes up so intensely and so powerfully that we think, I have to fight every battle. I can't let anybody walk all over me. And the fact of the matter is, some people aren't going to be. They just are that way. They could just be pushy people. They could just be louder people than we are ourselves. So stepping back and looking at these people and actually seeing them, because we have a really good sixth sense when it comes to emotionally understanding people, when it comes to being able to see what is cultivating within them, and then being able to stand up or being able to step back, being able to say, this is right for me, or being able to say, this isn't. In our inner selves, that's going to be an important balance to really hold on to. That's going to be an important way to walk forward. In our hearts, we're starting to see different paths open. Emotionally, the way we thought we could walk forward, the way we thought was acceptable, or, you know, we wanted to please people, now we're starting to see there are different roads open to me than I thought were ever going to be opened. There are different ways for me to move forward than I thought there were going to be for myself. And it can be because society has become more accepting, and it can also be because I don't want to live a lie anymore. I need to walk forward in my truth, in what I desire. And if people understand it, that's awesome. And if people don't understand it, it's still okay. I get to look within and say, what is it that I want, I need, and I desire? How is it that I am moving forward? And this is something that we're nurturing within ourselves. There's something that we are bringing forward, birthing forward into the world that gets to be cared for, developed, understood, loved, honored, respected. There are dreams that surround us and dreams that move within us. And we're going to start to see that they go from being the dreams that surround our mind to the dreams that expand our mind and push us forward and expand our world. There is something here where it almost felt like I gave up. I couldn't. The time had passed. And now we're going to start to see, oh no, that's so silly. Why did I write me off? There's the beginning of emotional understanding here. And it's not the beginning of emotional understanding. It is the empowerment of this emotional understanding that moves us forward on this river that starts and flows throughout the whole entire tarot. That, you know, leads into the ocean of our desires, our hopes, our dreams, and our wishes. And it brings us to the public arena. This very feminine energy, this sense of the sacred feminine coming forward, this sense of there is beauty and power within my grace, within my elegance, within my gentle touch to this world, within this kind of embracing of the dear spirit of June. We start to see ourselves move forward within that, and we start to see ourselves guided by it. And I think it's very interesting to have the stag spirit stand in for the elk that says it's a time of plenty. So the masculine and the feminine comes together in a very beautiful way. And it moves us forward here to the public arena. And the public arena is greatly affected by this full moon in Sagittarius. It's greatly affected by this non-judgmental optimism. And it's the sense of learning. It's a sense of pushing boundaries. It's a sense of gaining a greater understanding. And it's a sense of looking at things more openly and more honestly for ourselves. There is this need to develop. There are these messages that are coming to us. There are these doors that are opening. And we're going to see ourselves guided forward in power and in prestige. We're going to see that we're asking questions that before we might have thought, oh my gosh, that's just going to make me look silly, I can't ask it. Or we're going to see that we are pushing the boundaries of what we thought of before, because we're bringing forward this childlike innocence. Or it's not innocence, because I don't know if you've ever worked with children or have children. They're not always innocent. Like sometimes you're looking at them and you're like, you did that on purpose. It was spiteful. It was mean, and you hit the dog because you wanted to, and you knew you were going to get in trouble, but you still did it. Taking a personal example here. But there's this sense of this curiosity, this what will happen, this like, oh my gosh, I didn't realize that happened, or oh, this made me do it, and now I'm mad at the thing that made me do a bad thing that hit the dog, and I didn't hit the dog. Type of energy here. So we're going to see that there's this sense of of like, oh my goodness, I'm moving forward. Like, oh my goodness, this can lead to this, and this can open up this door. And because we have more sense than a toddler, we're going to see the connectivity. We're going to see the interwoven understanding that guides us to more and guides us to greatness. And it's because we're not going to be held back. It's because we're looking at the bigger picture. It's because we're pushing ourselves forward. It's because we're understanding ourselves more. Because we are acting as a student, because we are acting as if I don't know everything. There's wisdom here for the taking. Life is an adventure. I'm seeking it out. And my hard work, it gets to lead to prosperity and success. It gets to lead to bounty and greater understanding. It gets to be more than what I thought it would be. And this is the hard work paying off in our past and also in our present. It's the culmination of everything that we desire. But it won't be the major payday instantaneously. It's keep working, keep focusing, keep creating, put in that 10,000 hours to become an expert on it, to become just so gifted that people go, how did you do it? Oh my gosh, it just comes so easily. It's like, yeah, but it didn't. And it didn't, and now it does. Because I put in the time, I put in the effort, and I stuck with it. That sticking with it is something that is hard to do. And when we see that within people, that is something that we honor. And you might say, okay, people don't honor it now. That's fine. But there is this sense of people acknowledging it. And it might be that we haven't found the people who are interested in the same things that we are, or don't understand, how much time and effort what we put into something takes. But we can find it. We can, have the social media. We have this community that starts to see, that starts to understand. And we can start to see doors opening, our lives opening, our power opening in a way that we hadn't anticipated. There's some sort of payoff here. There's something that is unconventional, okay, that we have cultivated, worked on, and developed. And then thought, oh, it's not going to lead to anything. And yet there's a payday coming. There's an understanding coming. This is very practical. This is very sensible. It very much calls to the earth sign energy of Virgo. But it's also very exciting. And it's like, finally. That's the energy around here. It's like, finally. So let's see. What does Virgo have to be mindful of being swept away in? What does Virgo have to be mindful of being swept away in? A feeling like they have to defend themselves. What does Virgo need to be mindful of? A feeling like they have to defend themselves. Angels and spirit guides, show me clearly, guide this reading. It's the sun. It's the sun because what we want and what we see glimpses of is the sun, is our joy, is our passion, is our prosperity. And what we think is, I have to fight for it. I have to fight every single step of the way. Whereas it's almost the opposite. We don't have to fight for happiness. We have to choose happiness. We don't have to fight for having beauty in our lives. We choose beauty within our lives. And it starts off small, and it starts off frustrating, and it starts off feeling silly, but it leads us to something greater than we imagined and something intrinsically powerful. So how does this moon amplify the sun? Because the full moon, of course, is the reflection of the sun's light. So how does this moon amplify the power of the sun for Virgo? How does this moon amplify the power of the sun for Virgo? Angels and spirit guides, show me clearly, guide this reading. Okay, so that makes sense, because to amplify, it would be to make greater, right? And the moon necessarily does not amplify the sun. It diminishes its light, but it shows it. But what it amplifies for us during this time is what we are afraid of. What the sun is bringing forward, the beauty, the passion, the power that is being brought forward. But what we fear, we cannot cultivate, develop, and have for ourselves. So that's going to be something that we need to be mindful of. As we see this beauty coming closer and closer, the fear is going to be what wants to overpower us. The sense of, you don't get to be successful, but other people do. The sense of, this isn't a blessing for you. The sense of, you just haven't worked hard enough, or you just haven't this, you just haven't that. All the little nasty thoughts we have within our head and negativity we have that's going to be what comes forward. And that's what's going to try and steal away our blessing. And that's going to be what the moon lets us see. The moon always lets us see our fears because it silences the world in such a way that we then start to connect. We start to connect with the quiet knowing moments. And sometimes the quiet knowing moments are just intensely too much. And that's why people try to fill the night with, chaos and noise and all those different things. But to be quiet within the night and to sit under the light of the moon and to, just be with ourselves. That's powerful. So how does this moon help Virgo overcome our fears? How does this moon help Virgo overcome their fears? Angels and spirit guides, show me clearly. You're very close to achieving your goals. Understand that why you're having so much resistance right now is because you're close to achieving your goals. You're close to achieving more than what you had expected, or you're close to obtaining what you desire. And that's why the pushback is coming. And we'll start to see it. You'll start to see it in like the littlest ways, in the most kind of seemingly powerful way. But it's going to be, it's going to be intense. So we have to believe in ourselves and honor ourselves. That's going to be something that's powerful. What is Virgo? What is Virgo needing to nurture in order to create? What is Virgo needing to nurture in order to create? Angels and spirit guides, show me clearly. Ooh, okay. So that's interesting. So we have all sevens. Sevens is truth. 7 is wisdom. 7 is being called out on things. This is going to be a time emotionally where we call ourselves out on our own nonsense, or we can see that other people will call us out on our nonsense. But yeah, and it's going to be annoying because we're going to think, oh, I'm not as bad as that person. And it's going to be true, we're not. But there's something about the number 7 that just calls forward the sense of honesty, the sense of I know you don't want to hear it, but you're going to hear it anyway. And with the 7 of Pentacles, there's a need for patience. The 7 of Swords, gathering what is needed and needing to move forward, needing to leave some things behind. We can't take them anymore. What we need to birth forward, what we need to create and cultivate within ourselves takes patience, prosperity, intention. We need to leave behind something. And we also need to be a little bit sneaky. It's not everybody's business because we're talking about our dreams here. We're talking about what it is that our souls greatly desire. And there's a fear, if I bring it forward into the world, how will it be destroyed? How will it be sullied? We could even have tried once upon a time to bring it forward and people laughed, people mocked. It wasn't good enough. What about looking at it now with wisdom and with integrity of self and saying, but this is what I need. This is what needs to be seen. Even if it's just by a small number of people, being able to start off brave, that's going to be something that's powerful and beautiful and important. And being able to look at the dreams that we want and also look at the dreams that we had that we say, it doesn't fit me anymore. So how does this moon connect us with our dreams? How does this moon connect Virgo with their dreams? How does this moon connect Virgo with their dreams? Angels and spirit guides, show me clearly. Guide this reading. Realization that we ourselves are the key. The person is walking through the keyhole. We ourselves are the key. And that the world that is being opened to us is vaster and wider and greater than we had imagined. So how do we realize? How does this moon help us realize that we are key? How does this moon help us realize that we are the key? Angels and spirit guides, show me clearly. Meditation and contemplation. It's not going to happen through the external chaos. That's actually going to be the place where we lose a lot of ourselves. It's through the noise, the chaos, the pounding down the doors. It's going to be in the quiet moments. It's going to be in the introspective moments. It's going to be in the powerful understanding of the heart that things start to open and they open quite well. Right? And I didn't hold that up, but there you go. What is the knowledge that is the game changer for Virgo in the public arena? What is the knowledge that is the game changer for Virgo in the public arena? Angels and spirit guides, show me clearly. Guide this reading and show me clearly. It's the Four of Cups. It's the gift that doesn't feel like a gift. It is the insight. It is the understanding. It is the power that is coming forward. It's the sense of something coming. All right. That again, it doesn't feel like a gift, but it's a game changer. It starts to set us on a different course. It starts to have us seeing things differently. It starts to have us, stepping into our own power, calling ourselves out, calling other people out, looking at things more openly and more honestly. And it's like, oh, that's it, isn't it? So how does this moon help us realize the gift? How does this moon help Virgo realize the gift? How does this moon help Virgo realize the gift? Angels and spirit guides, show me clearly. Guide this reading. It's through beginnings. It's linked very closely with the new moon. So around the 10th of June, we start to see the gift coming forward. We start to see this new light, this new understanding. And of course, there is this power through the mind, through comprehension, through things coming to us intellectually first. And it makes sense that this would come to a head and be connected to the new moon in Gemini, where we're looking at words, we're looking at communication, we're looking at connection, and we're starting to see the power of it. And we're starting to see the beginning, where our words lead us, where our thoughts lead us, and how we move forward in passionate power, how we step through that door. It brings us then, how does this moon bring forward new beginnings? How does this moon bring forward new beginnings? Angels and spirit guides, show me clearly. It's again the new moon. So a new start is coming. It's an innate part of this moon. It is a sense of quiet meditation, of contemplation, of understanding through darkness, through solitude, through the connection of the body and the beauty of the heart. It starts to open. We start to open. We start to understand. Yes. It's so interesting that you got both in the beginning, in the public arena. So I would really seriously, okay, if there is something that needs to be done, if there is something that you are working towards or focusing on, the 10th of June is going to be a powerful time for you. Just period, end of discussion. And there's going to be something that happens that, again, it doesn't feel like a gift, but it all is coming around at this point. It opens up new doors. It brings a new start. There's a reset button that's coming, or it's like, this is what I've worked so hard for. This is what I've trained for, almost. And it comes forward during this time, around this time. Yeah, give it some wiggle room because tarot's not really the best with time. But yeah, okay. So let's see, what is the energy that Virgo needs to be mindful of? What is the energy that Virgo needs to be mindful of during the May 2021 full moon? What is the energy that Virgo needs to be mindful of during the May 2021 full moon? Angels and spirit guides, show me clearly. The Queen of Cups, emotions taking over. And we already saw that with what this moon brings forward, and it brings forward the intense emotions. So what we need to be mindful of is emotions taking over, logic moving away, and just for us to almost feel like a chaotic emotional mess, okay? That's what we need to be mindful of, because we can easily be swept away in things and think, oh, I'm heading in the right direction, but really it's just taking away our focus from where we need it. Our subconscious energy that we have to be mindful of is strength. This is then counteracting it by going in the other extreme. Instead of looking at the emotions, it's looking at the passion, the power, the purpose, the force, and just going in the completely other direction. So to find a happy medium, to find this profound balance is going to be important for us. The subconscious message that the moon brings forward is abundance, is to learn how to accept abundance and not turn our backs from it, not self-sabotage. It brings us then to a win-win outcome is forecast, to the full moon in Libra, this balance coming in, and us being able to embrace a balance and understanding, knowing that we will win no matter what happens, no matter how we progress, even if that win doesn't feel like a win at the time. Our subconscious chakra message is angels and masters. This is the soul star chakra located 6 inches above the crown. These are our angels, our spirit guides, divinity walking with us, guiding us, protecting us. We are protected. We are safe during this time. And there's a sense of greater knowledge, greater insight coming our way. The subconscious tarot message is the devil. Now this is Capricorn energy. This connects us with the full moon in Capricorn, but this is also subconsciously saying, do not be tied to things that we cannot change. Old addictions, fears, worries, hurts, pains, disappointments, disabilities. If we are disabled, I myself am, and sometimes it feels like you can never outrun the person that you once were, the person that people laughed at, the person that people teased. And there's this understanding, and there has to be this understanding, that the past is all well and good, but it doesn't get to rule me. And society doesn't get to tell me who I get to be. I get to claim it. And that's going to be something that's very powerful here for us, that claiming of who we are, who we need to be, and what we desire, and breaking the chains, and breaking the patterns, the hurts that have been with us for just way too long, and have been guiding us for way too long. It brings us then to our subconscious message for this whole entire reading, and that's the 9 of Swords. Worry, doubt, and fear can take over. It can paralyze us. It can keep us from our dreams. It can keep us from our hopes. It's looking at our fears, and instead of saying, I can't sleep, I can't eat, I can't do anything, all I am is worried, it's saying, I see you. And I'm no longer ruled by the fear of the unknown. I'm moving forward in the power of who I am now, and where I need to be, and what it is that I want from my life. But subconsciously, we're fighting demons, quite literally with the devil coming forward. Okay, all right, Virgo. I hope this reading has resonated with you. I wish you nothing but light, love, peace, and happiness. May harmony always be with you. I'm sending loving, healing energy to each and every one of you. I love you all, and stay safe. Let's end this reading with a meditation, a clearing away of negative energy, a raising of our positive energy as we embrace the beauty and the power of this rare supermoon. So take a nice deep breath in, exhaling whenever it feels comfortable for you. May you move forward in peace and in harmony, Virgo, and may you have a blessed moon.